Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Anything I say is alleged in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some housekeeping items, some meat and potato items. It is free. Free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram, on the Instagrammies at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to hit the like button so it gets out into the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes. And do not forget, whether you are coming or going, to hit the like button. So today we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we got a couple of things to break down, a couple of interviews, a couple of press that was done today. Do you guys think that Sidora is being phased out of Real Housewives of Atlanta? I just want your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but the ladies are on their second round of Watch What Happens Live appearances in the clubhouse. And I'm not fully buying scheduling conflicts is the rumored issue that Sidora can't come, because if she's able to promote her album and she's able to do an interview with Carlos King, surely she can do an interview at Bravo, at Watch What Happens Live, and go to New York. I don't know. I feel like she's being phased out. She was asked a question about her dream cast. Of course, PORSHA was not included, but she had Angela, she had Shamia, she had Kenya, she had Nene, she had Candy, and Sheree, I believe, and herself as a dream cast, except for I don't think she realizes that Angela in that scenario would be her only friend. Everyone else would be basically isolating her out and getting her off that show and calling her a liar and calling her a fraud and everything else. So I don't think that's going to go the way she thinks that's going to go. She denies being attracted or having anything intimate go on with Dennis the Menace. Says basically she's into a certain type of physique, talks about how she likes biceps, not bellies, and everything else. Also, the question was asked about, what actually was going on with her and PORSHA, because the thing of it was, she felt as though, and it's ironic because she was the one that was crying to PORSHA at the reunion. She couldn't handle the girls at the reunion, and PORSHA was the one that was trying to give her advice and give her a pep talk, only for we to fast forward to now, and they're just not in a good situation. So essentially, Drew is throwing shade at PORSHA and saying PORSHA needs to show her real life. PORSHA's not being authentic and everything else, and basically is trying to say PORSHA sold a different dream, a different lifestyle in her coming back to the show and her coming back to Housewives, and instead she is stuck basically keeping Drew's name and Dennis's name in her mouth every episode and in all the confessionals and all this and that. So well, actually, to be honest, Drew, I don't think she was actually mentioning you in the last episode, not that I can recall. And also, it feels like, speaking of Drew, outside of this divorce storyline, it seems like you're being phased out also on the show, like barely getting scenes. Also, I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, question about Ty and her relationship with Ty, y'all, because y'all know Ty, Carlos, here we go. Well, I used to, she used to date my good friend, and Mimi Faust and all this and that. So what is tea? Were you guys intimate? Like, what took place? And Drew basically made it seem like they just had conversations and flirting, but it was nothing of what Ralph was trying to make it out to be. She said that she has no offense to the community, but she doesn't get down like that. Sounds like basically she was saying without saying she has a preference of men. However, there was a lot of good conversation, a lot of good time she spent together, but Ralph basically inflated that and made it into something that it wasn't. Drew also talked about the fact of how hard she wanted to fight for her marriage, even when she she knew that Ralph was cheating, she still wanted to fight for her marriage and for her kids and everything else. And he didn't want that. And it's interesting, once again, seeing Carlos King have this empathy for Drew Sidora and what she is dealing with in a menace like Ralph, who is Martell Holt's mentee. And you do not have the same grace. You do not have the same empathy when it was Melody Cherie Rogers on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Switching gears now to Phaedra Parks. Phaedra Parks is doing press now for Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's going to be returning on this Sunday's episode. We saw in the preview that PORSHA brings, Phaedra some bottles, I'm presuming of champagne or whatever, to celebrate her return. Phaedra also, they talk about the fact that she was featured with a new gentleman. Phaedra talks about the fact that he's 30 years old and everything else. And she looks for in a guy somebody who believes in God, somebody who is fun and understands that Phaedra is busy with a lot of businesses and everything else. And it's interesting because I'm looking at this relationship. I still miss her with the radio dude, Tone Capone, I think his name is, from Chicago. I thought they made a nice couple. I feel like it just wasn't, maybe he just wasn't as coined up as, Phaedra was looking for. Then also the interviewer asked Phaedra what she thinks about reuniting with her and PORSHA and frickin' frack and all of that. And Phaedra says that despite everything, her and PORSHA always remained in touch. Her and PORSHA always remained friends. They always got along. Phaedra said this is a Phaedra 2.0 that you're going to see on this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's coming in with a different energy. She said the kids are older. She's basically acting as if, the real reason she wasn't gone. The real, like, she's acting like, but I got to hand it to Phaedra. One thing she's going to do, she's very much PR trained on how to make it seem like, she just made the decision to take time away from the show and everything else. But said that she's still busy with everything. And she said PORSHA begged her to come back, you guys. So we know Shami is not going to like that. But Phaedra is alleging that PORSHA begged Phaedra to come back to the show. So that, of course, I'm sure is going to potentially come up at the reunion about the fact that PORSHA begged Phaedra to come back to the show, however, could give two craps about the life support that the alleged friendship between PORSHA and Shamia is on, that maybe she hated that conversation that they had in the last episode so much she had to cry to Phaedra like you got to come back now. I have no friends. Nobody's loyal to me. They're all talking about me behind my back. They're trying to get me off the show. I have no storyline, with all the Simon stuff. Simon's dragging me on the internet and everything else. I need you. I need you. How quickly can you leave Married to Medicine? How quickly can you get off that private jet and come to it, and come to Atlanta from that horrible cast trip, right? So that's what I think happened there. And then Phaedra also, so she just talked about her new relationship, right? And how they're showing all the gory details and he's 30 or whatever. Why did they ask Phaedra, okay, of all the shows on NBC Universal, Bravo, Peacock, and the like, what would be the next show you'd like to be on? Because we know you've been on Traitors, you've been on Married to Medicine, this and that, you're returning back to Atlanta. Do you know Phaedra said she would love to be on Love Hotel? After just talking about this new man, she can't be serious. Talking about her and PORSHA need to tear up that Love Hotel, and frickin' frack would be a time. So I would not be surprised if they are on the following season, you guys. And screw whatever's going on with Shaq, right? Whether it's a real relationship or not. That is absolutely wild. But I'm not surprised when it comes to Phaedra. Phaedra is going to, she's going to do whatever it takes, and she'd probably convince Chuck, if it is a real relationship, that it is just something that she's doing just to get some more additional fame and screen time and everything else, like allegedly what Ashley Darby is doing. So nonetheless, that was pretty much it as far as Phaedra said. I think there's like another interview where she's talking about becoming, planting flowers or becoming a florist or something she was talking about. I don't know. But yeah, what do you guys think though? What do you guys think? Are you guys excited for Phaedra Parks' return to Real Housewives of Atlanta this Sunday? And what do you think is going on with Drew? Do you think Drew's being phased out of the show? What do you think of her doing an interview with Carlos King and not being on Watch What Happens Live while the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast is on their second round of trips to Watch What Happens Live already? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.